Welcome to Frugal Family Gardens. My name is Julie, and I have a lot going on. But one of the main things, the most frugal thing, no, there's several frugal things going on. Tending your plants, the things that you have put time, money, and energy into, that is a frugal activity. So there is that, and we're prepping for fall. We are prepping to put up the Halloween stuff. Hopefully very, very soon we'll be doing that. But I've promised myself I'm not putting any of that up until the yard work is actually done. The projects are done, and that's been tough to stick to, but we're doing it. But the other frugal activity is one of propagating. Creating new plants from ones that we already have that we either bought, found, or were given to us. So we're going to be doing quite a bit of that today with some succulents, with some hollyhocks, and some pelargoniums, which here in the U.S. are known as geraniums. A really fun little history goes with all of that. But anyway, we'll get into that a little later perhaps. I got a lot to do. This is actually what you're seeing today is going to be a recap of the last probably week and a half of work that we've been doing. There's no way, guys, that I'm doing all this that you're going to see in just one day. So, Reagan and Mimi are out here pulling weeds.
We've got this much.
So helpful, so wonderful.
If you want, it's right here. The big wasp is right here.
I'd rather stay away from it, but thank you. Oh, there's definitely still a whole bunch more in this bed. They're earning computer time, these kids are. And there are still some, a bunch over here in these beds, Mimi, that you were working on.
I know, I got this side first.
But there's some right there by your feet. Look at those mean things. No, inside the flower bed.
Right here?
Uh-huh. They're so naughty, huh?
Yeah.
Hate those weeds. I have the most wonderful helpers.
And if you bring the camera down here, you can see the exoskeleton of a grasshopper.
Oh, getting all kinds of science lessons.
Skeleton of a grasshopper back there?
Yeah. And did you see how many of those nasty weeds are over in that big flower bed?
Yeah.
Ugh, especially under that tree. Why are they so mean? Well, no. We do one bed at a time. We've got to finish one, then we go on to the next.
Well, Reagan's doing this bed and I'm doing
Yep, and don't forget to come into this back corner, because this is where I'm going to plant a rose bush.
Okay.
Yep, it's going to be awesome.
These weeds?
Yeah, anything in that one is weeds.
Except for those?
Yeah, these are the only things that are good. And like, see how in the back corner over there, there's stuff happening? They're all weeds. They all need to go. And then Mommy's going to go shopping at the garden center and put in some fall plants. And then we decorate for Halloween. Such good helpers. Here on the porch, I have a couple of new treasures. I got a multi-gallon sprayer. We already have one, but it was used for like fertilizers and poisons and stuff, and it was much bigger, so I got one that is specifically for feeding the plants. With this fish fertilizer, that's the only thing I will use in it, or other plant foods. And yeah, I've been doing it like one pitcher full at a time. That is ridiculous, especially when you're trying to do the whole yard. So this is the new plan. And then I got some loppers. They extend, and I'm going to use these to chop some of the tree branches that are up too high on the fruit trees that got too big. And I got some ginormous shears, which I think will come in really handy as we're getting the whole yard, all the different beds ready for fall. Do you remember this plant, Frugal friends? It is one of the succulents that we found at the college student housing a couple of years ago, and we've propagated from it a couple of times, and it is time to do it again. This one, I still don't know what it's even called, to be honest, but I will tell you, it is a really easy one to propagate from, and you can see it's got some really good shoots on it here. So we're going to chop a couple of those off. Olivia wants some succulents for her bedroom, for her little relaxation zone that she's got set up down there. I'll show you that in a little bit. But yeah, this one is ready. So rather than going and buying more succulents at the store at like, $6 to $10 a pop, why not propagate from what we already have that we got for free in the dumpsters? Da-da-da. So I've got 2 of them started right there. These are the shot glasses that we found in the dumpsters several months ago. Why not go ahead and use them to do these starts? So I've got those 2. And if you're gonna do this, you gotta make sure that you chop off some of the leaves so that you've got a nice long bit of stem. And you wanna have some leaves, you know, because it's still gotta do its photosynthesis, but you don't want to have to support too many leaves. And in fact, I might even cut off, you know, just these 2 more here and that one there on this one. Anyway, I'm going to take off at least 1 more to start another one. And to be honest, I might even chop this whole stem. Maybe I will. Tough choices because it is, you know, rather awkward looking now, very lopsided. Maybe for this next one, I will just chop off this nice big stem and have that start rooting in this other shot glass. I decided to do 4 and went ahead and used my Disney World shot glass. Ta-da! How cool is that? So within, 2 weeks, these will all have some roots growing nicely. I still need to put water in there, but they will all have some nice roots growing, and then we can pot them on into their own little pots, hopefully into dumpster salvaged pots just like this one. I've perched them here by the back window, which gets the morning sunlight. We will keep the blinds at such an angle though that it's not too harsh for our little succulents, but I do want them to get a good touch of sunlight, at least for an hour every day until they really start rooting. So stay tuned. We will be documenting the progress of the propagated succulents. This is going to be so perfect. Getting everything nice and soaked so that tomorrow morning I can come out here and dig stuff up and move plants around. Perfect. Just perfect. Okay, so I'm doing a really hard chop out here, and the idea is to be able to get everything down to a level so that I can get to all the weeds, and then I'm going to start moving some plants around because some of them are just in the wrong place and are overshadowing, you know, some of the ones that really want to be seen right now or throughout the year. It's a matter of I just don't have the levels of height correct in this bed, well, in most of the beds actually, and so that's going to be one of my main things that I'm working on for the next 2 weeks, I think. Don't you just love these colors, like the purples, the dark red of that snapdragon there, different shades of purple, and then this yellow popping out over here, some pink behind it. So this rose, my John F. Kennedy rose, is going to move back there tomorrow morning. And this pink one, which I cannot for the life of me remember its name, is going to switch spots right there, just literally just switch spots with the John F. Kennedy rose. This guy here is going to move into one of the other beds. Well, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. All of these Shasta daisies, there's actually several plants in here. It has been growing babies, which is wonderful, and I'm going to move these further back because they just get way too tall and you can't see anything else behind them. So I'm going to break that up. We'll see how many plants it actually has, and I think we'll probably have 3 in this bed, and they'll be kind of towards the back. Yeah, let's like have 1 right there. We'll move these pin cushions out and into another bed. So have a Shasta over there, 1 here, and 1 like right here. I'm also going to bring in a rambling rose. I'm going to get rid of all the weeds that are growing up from the apartment side. And then the rambling rose, I'm going to bring in some more trellises and have it grow up and around here. I think that will be lovely. Okay, then here on the porch, I've got this lovely pot of hollyhocks, and these ones, if I remember correctly, were from seed, and there was actually more than I thought there was. So I thought it was just 1. Actually, this might be one of the plants that my mother-in-law gave me, and it just ended up with more than I thought it did. I don't know. I don't remember. But this has been out in the Splash Mountain garden, out in the laughing place, and I've brought it out here now that it's nice and healthy and developed. And in the morning, I'm going to split these up. It looks like we have 3 very healthy looking plants, and they're going to be the backdrop and the, the height in some of these different beds. Reagan and I stopped at the grocery store to pick up a couple of things, and one of the main objectives was to get a couple of mini roses. These were on sale for $6.99 each, which is pretty good for mini roses. What you might not know, and what I didn't know the first time I was gifted a mini rose, is just how big these will actually grow. Not the flowers, they stay mini, but the plant, wow. Here at the end of the driveway are two of my mini roses that I planted. It's probably been maybe 6 years ago. So yeah, they get huge. Just so you know, if you ever buy one of those grocery store mini roses and you actually plant it, you need to really, really plan ahead. Something I do want to do is to hack all this down quite a bit so that I can, well, first I'm going to use some of these roses and take them up to my dad and my niece to their graves, but also to be able to see if either of these rose bushes have had babies growing down below so that I can go ahead and pull those and use them elsewhere in the yard. But aren't they gorgeous? If you have a space to fill, get you a mini rose, feed it really well. Yeah, it'll do the rest. Okay, I'm out here this morning. I'm going to start digging up the plants before it gets hot, start moving them around. And one of the benefits that will come from digging them up is being able to pull all the roots of weeds that I've been fighting like crazy. I'll be able to pull all of those out and hopefully get on top of this ridiculous, just horrible weed problem. This is what I'm talking about. I'm digging this hole for the yellow John F. Kennedy rose, and look at this. Yeah, I think a lot of time is going to be spent pulling out these roots. Hopefully, I'll still be able to get everything moved that I want to move today, but just, I mean, look at all those weeds still there, and knowing that under all of them is this, I don't know, guys. Well, I'm going to give it the good old college try and do my best. Okay, I've moved the yellow rose back there and found out it actually had 2 babies with it. So I've got those in water in the house, and we'll figure out where we want to put them. Moved the other one over here and chopped all the flowers off so that it will not have too tough of a time during this transition process. These are the Shasta daisies, and as you can see, there are so many plants in this one clump. So we're going to save money by separating these, but we're also going to make the actual plants stronger by separating them. Okay, I got several plants divided. There were so many to divide, and moved around. Gonna go ahead and give them a really good soak, and then I will put in the hollyhocks in the back. I'm going to put in 2 of the hollyhocks, and then I'm also going to get a rambling rose to grow up that trellis right there. I went around to the other side and sprayed all of the weeds and that are coming from the neighbor's side, and I will when I'm feeling patient because I sprayed the roots of them, but I will go over there and start pulling all of them down because they all are just laden with seeds, and I don't want to deal with that in the spring. So anyway, gonna take a little break. I even moved some of the plants over in here. There were so many babies amongst my plants that I separated. So, okay, next on the list is the hollyhocks, adding those in, and then figuring out where the yellow rose, the John F. Kennedy rose babies are gonna go. Then these pin cushions desperately need to be separated. Look at that huge mound. And gonna move some of those elsewhere in the yard. And finally, over here, I did add some pin cushions right there. I'm going to put one of the hollyhocks right here in the corner, and then these Shastas right here, this huge mound of Shastas needs to be separated, and I'm going to put one bunch over in that corner, and probably one right here in front of the irises. But for now, it's time for a break.